All right. Guys, I want to share with you something that like is one of my miracles that happened this week, right? Today it's happening right now, actually, and it is from my vision board. I don't know if you saw my picture of my vision board or my item on my vision board because my house has been on the market for 3 months, right? When we listed our house right as the market kind of went pew. And so on my vision board after Barb's thing was I had to take all my stuff off my walls. And so my vision board is actually packed away in my garage. But I just grabbed a sticky note and I wrote this down and I put it on my bathroom mirror. I need a buyer for my house by the 16th, which is tomorrow, because we're driving to Utah and I don't want to have to worry about leaving my house show ready. And I'm tired of, of showing my house. It's wonderful every time we do, but it's just added another level of stress to my life that I don't really need. And I'm ready to be done and move on. So I put this on my mirror. What day was that? Monday when we started this? Last night at about 9:30, we get a call from our realtor and we have an offer. It wasn't a very good one, but it was an offer. 10, 20 minutes later, he called back. He's like, we've got a second offer. And this one was good. It was one that we would be willing to accept. And anyway, we've talked more this morning and like these two people are in a bidding war right now. And so the offers keep getting better and better. And we're about to be under contract, which is going to happen before we leave for Utah. So I don't have to leave my house show ready and have that stress and bringing my son home from college and all of his stuff that's going to be everywhere. You know, I'm just so excited. So I want to share that with you. If you have seen anything come to pass from your vision board, let us know, share, put in the chat, share in a post, and we want to hear about it. So welcome again. I'm going to pass the time over to Barb. We have such a fun lineup of speakers today. You're just going to love it.
Awesome, Jamie, that just makes me so happy. When Jamie texted me about 10:30 last night, well, I think you texted me after the first offer and then you texted me that you had a second offer and both are still very, interested in possibly outbidding each other. And I just celebrated. I was so happy for you. And so again, if you have not posted your vision board, I don't care if it's 2 sticky notes, 1 sticky note, put that in the chat. We would love to see that and we want to celebrate with you. If you have pulled something off your vision board in the last 3 to now 4 days, I also want to hear about that in the chat, please. And so we're excited. We have, as Jamie mentioned, we've got so many great things to share with you. I'm going to keep my little piece brief because we have a very special guest. I want to teach you just one little added bonus piece. And we're going to deep dive into all of these topics and more in our 6-week course that we're offering in January. We're so excited for those of you that have been so engaged with us throughout the last 3 days and that are so excited for that 6-week course coming up. Again, sign up for that clarity coaching call. Jamie texted me all the lineup of people that have signed up for today, tomorrow, and even a couple on Monday. We do have spots available, but those spots are limited. So please sign up. So I'm going to teach you something that you can do in about 10 seconds. Are you excited to implement something new today? So I want you, wherever you're at, if you are able, probably not if you're driving, but if you are able to just stop, and I want you to look straight ahead. I want your gaze to go up. So just look up a little bit. And then I want you to take your arms, just spread them out. I don't know if you can see me on Zoom. Probably can't see my full wing spread here, but just arms out, wiggle your fingers. And as you look up, okay, I want you to see in your peripheral vision, your fingers wiggling, okay? So oftentimes we are, focused forward, or we talked about also especially as women, we carry a lot of our our burdens, our things that we're thinking about, our to-do list, we just carry that in our shoulders. So part of that miracle morning, you know, roll your shoulders back, brush those things off. Yes, we want to stay focused, and we can be task oriented, but we don't need to carry that as if it's a burden. So another piece, again, this is called mind power state, or a mental toughness space. Doesn't that sound awesome? So look up, arms out, wiggle your fingers. And so instead of your vision being, I don't want to say tunnel vision, but just kind of that limited, I want you to expand. That actually opens up your mind, opens up your heart, opens up your spirit, and opens up so that the inspiration and the spark ideas that will bless your life and help you throughout your day can flow more easily. So hopefully that's something, and you can actually, that can be part of your miracle morning. Again, it's 5 or 10 seconds. You start your day with that openness, with that ready to receive mentality. And then if you ever throughout your day, it could be one time a day during the day or 5 times during the day, that you just feel like, oh my goodness, you know, I'm not able to get in the zone. I'm scattered, whatever it is. Stop 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and if you don't even have to, after you do it once or twice, put your arms out and wiggle your fingers, because then now you know how to do it. You look up, be conscious left and right, and that just opens up. So drop a 1 if you love that, if you were able to try that with us, and also share your experience. You know, how did that feel? Or try it now, and then, you know, maybe share your experience later today or tomorrow. So very excited for that. And also, I want you to think about how you've engaged, or how you've maybe utilized some of the tools that we've gone over Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Have you put into practice? We've heard from so many of you how excited you are, and how you've had these little mini breakthroughs. We're so excited to hear those. So please share those either with the group, or, you know, if they're too personal and you want to share them privately, please DM any of us. And, you know, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? So excited for that. I'm going to turn the time over to Miss Tracy Joe.
Okay, now I'm unmuted. Hey, everybody, can you believe it's our last day? You know, remember when I said like 3 months is 1 second? That's how I feel. Like this just started. And now we're on our last day. And I'm excited for you, but I'm also sad, but maybe not, because maybe we'll be continuing on. And I would love to get to know you a little bit better a lot better through the next 6 weeks. So some great things. I'm going to introduce an incredible guest speaker in just a few minutes. But first, what we're going to do is we're going to get into a feeling of love and joy. And did you know that everything on this planet is vibrating at a frequency? I was so surprised when I learned that. Many years ago, I got involved with a company that does essential oils. And the person that created those essential oils explained to us each one of the plants has a frequency that it vibrates at. And that was just my beginning of learning about the body electric. If you think about our planet, it has positive and negative poles on it. And the moon has an electrical pole. Our bodies have protons, neutrons, electrons that are positive and negative. And everything is electric. Everything is energy. So we can actually do some exercises to get us feeling at a higher energy level or frequency. And some people call it tuning in. Isn't that interesting? Just like a radio, you can tune it into that frequency, right? So would you say wherever you're sitting, is there music in the room? If you think that there's music in the room where you're sitting, put a 5 in the chat. I just want to see what your thoughts are on that. Is there music going on in the room where you're sitting? Just put a 5 if it's a yes. I don't know if I can see the chat. Do you guys see anything going on in the chat? Okay. Somebody put a 5. So you believe that there's music in the room. All right. So let me tell you something. You're right. There is music in the room. Just because we can't hear it, there are frequencies of music all around us. And how do we have to tune in? We have to get a device to tune in with, right? Like a radio. And we can tune into the kind of music that we want to listen to. So there's rap going on right now around me. There's country music, there's classical music, there's pop, there's hip hop, there's all kinds of music going on in this space right here. But I can't hear it unless I can tune into it. So I'm going to help you tune in to a higher frequency of love and joy. So the way that we're going to do that right now is we are going to get our notebook, grab a pen, grab something to write with. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. So we're just going to take 5 minutes and I'm going to have you write anything or everything that you can think of that you are grateful for. So let's see, it's about 18 after 12 my time. And I'm going to give you the 5 minutes. But first I want to tell you about a gal that I absolutely look up to. Her name's Meg. I think her last name's Johnson. You're like, yeah, you look up to her, but you can't even, it's Meg Johnson, yes. So her speaking and thing that she does is called When Life Gets Hard. And Meg, I'm just going to give you like this much of her background. She accidentally jumped off of a cliff when she was in St. George hiking. She was jumping from one big red boulder to another, and it looked like there was another one. But when she jumped to it, she realized it was a ravine and she had jumped off of the cliff, and she turned and tried to grab, but she couldn't. And she fell and she became a paraplegic. And I remember listening to her story, and she was laying in bed straight up looking at the tiles on the ceiling, waiting for someone to come and turn her. And they took a while to get to come in and to move her. And while she was laying there, she started feeling really sorry for herself. And then she was looking at her one hand that she could move. And she looked at that hand and she started thinking about what she was grateful for. And she found over 500 things that she was grateful for in one hand. So I'm just going to encourage you to just take 5 minutes and write everything you can think of that you are grateful for. And then we're going to jump back on in about 5 minutes. So on your mark, get set, go, start writing. think we have 1 more minute. I'm sure Barb set a timer. Hey, Barb, did you talk about tortoise and hare?
I did not. Do you want me to do that right now?
That'd be
Or
great.
we'll do it at the end?
Yeah, we'll do it at the end. Give him 1 more
Okay.
minute. Well, let me bring up, just finish this out and then. Okay, stop writing. I want to ask you a question. How are you feeling? When you started writing, I don't know, I should have asked you to kind of check in and see how you were feeling when you started writing. But if you feel like you feel happier than you did before you started writing, I want you to put a 3 in the chat. If you feel like that made a difference for you, put a 3 in the chat. Did you know that Laura says she's feeling grateful? Grateful. Good. Did you know that gratitude is one of the highest vibrations on our planet? Isn't that amazing? And it's funny, like when I read scripturally, I read that we need to thank God in all things, that God asks us to thank him in all things. And I don't think it's because he wants us to be like, oh, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. I don't think he knows that us getting into gratitude is going to raise our energy levels. It's going to raise how we feel. It's going to help us feel happier and more joyful. I told my kids whenever they get feeling sorry for themselves or this or that, I said, hey, did you know that you can never be mad, sad, or angry when you're in gratitude? And they just kind of looked at me. And we have this thing in our family about looking up and smiling, because I always tell them when you're smiling, it's hard to be mad or angry or sad. And so we do that too. But the other thing is just starting to just say all the things. Sometimes I'm driving and I'm like, I'm so thankful for this traffic. I'm so thankful I have a car. I'm so thankful I'm breathing right now. And then I start my deep breathing, but it really does put you into a different energy level. And I just wanted to get us into that level before we have our next guest speaker on. But first, Barb is going to talk to you about something important that we want to understand about ourselves before we move on. So go ahead, Barb.
Okay, well, I started to allude to it when I said how you do anything is how you do everything, but we also all have different personalities. And so have you ever thought of yourself in one way or another as far as being potentially a hare or a tortoise? We all know the story of a tortoise and a hare, and neither one is bad, right? Sometimes we're the hare where we're just like, you know what? Fire, ready, aim. Fire, ready, aim. And other times we're more like the tortoise. We've got questions. We want to get some more information before we kind of go forward very quickly with something. And so how about if you're a hare, put a 10 in the chat. And if you feel like you're more of a tortoise, put a capital T in the chat. Okay, and we'll talk more about that at the end today.
Awesome. All right, thanks, Barb. So yes, if you don't know, if you're like, am I a tortoise or am I a hare? It's like Barb was saying, it's how did you come at the calls to action on the 4-day challenge? Did you do the miracle morning? Do you have a vision board? Oh, by the way, I just got to show you. I brought this. Look at mine. So I got my little vision board going on here, and there's just 4 things on there, but I love visioning. Okay, so did you do your vision board? So that's kind of how you can say, well, yeah, I did all that. I attacked all of that. I am a hare. So put a 10. Or if, yeah, I wanted to do it, but I figured I'd do it later because I wasn't sure, that kind of thing, then put a capital T for tortoise. And like Barb said, nothing, there's no right or wrong in it. It's just understanding a little bit how you, and sometimes in your life, you might be one or the other. So, all right. Now that we're there, we are going to feel the feels. Everybody think about all the gratitude and love that we have as we welcome our next speaker. So this is Kristen Wall. She is a voice essence expert, specializing in helping others to understand how to use one of their greatest assets, your voice. So I'm hoping Kristen's ready. If she's not, I see her. Okay. Awesome. So I want to welcome Kristen Wall to our call, and you guys are going to absolutely love her. I want to tell you that I've heard her speak several times in events that I've attended, and that's the reason that I've invited her to our 4-day challenge, because every time I have listened to her, she's definitely up-leveled me and helped me to, she's had some very thought-provoking things that they have changed my life. So I want to introduce you to Kristen and just show her some love in the chat. Go ahead, take it away, Kristen.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Tracy, for having me here. I just adore you, and I have really enjoyed hearing Jamie and Barb and all the tools that you guys are giving. Like, this is so valuable for all of the listeners. So all of you who are listening right now, drop a 1 if you are just so excited about the tools that you've been learning. I loved what Jamie had to say about her house being sold and your vision board item. I have a very similar story, so it's fun to connect and just, I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like to have your home sold and have that as a vision board item. So, all right. Today, I would love to talk a little bit about one of our greatest assets, which is our voice. It's something that I absolutely love to talk about. Ever since I was young, I just really loved all things sound, frequency, energy, and voice. And so first off is just dissecting the word voice. What does the word voice mean? And as I understood this, I looked it up in the Latin terms, which is the Latin word for voice is vocare. So looking up vocare, it means to call forth. So our voice is literally calling forth whatever we're speaking, these sounds and letters that are combined that we make words with, and then we call it spelling as well, or casting a spell. There's a lot of things that are tied with these sounds that we're making and this energy that's being emitted from us, just like Tracy was talking about a little earlier about the frequency of things, the frequency of oils. Well, we have a lot of different frequencies that we're picking up on, as well as sending as a message to call forth. So the law of vibration states that everything is energy. And if you already know what the law of vibration is, drop me a yes. Like you heard the law of vibration, you understand it. It just means that everything is in motion. Whether we're moving towards something or things are moving towards us, we're in motion. In fact, if you were to take your hand and look at it under a microscope to the level of a quark, you would see that there's just energy clouds kind of moving. It's not even anything solid. Anything that you can see that's around you in this moment, if you were to look at it at such a level, nothing is solid. It's utilizing this law of vibration that everything is just moving at a certain frequency, and it's creating a hardness or liquid, whatever it is, it has and emits a certain frequency. So our most powerful communication device, something that actually can control or have something happen is our voice. When we speak, what we speak turns into matter. What we speak matters. Go ahead and write that down because it's something that's very important. And I'll say it again. What we speak matters, or rather turns into matter, just based on this law of vibration that we have. And so we have this ability, we have our voice to be able to speak things into existence. And some of you have maybe experienced this before. You've experienced it with, we'll just take Jamie, for example. She spoke about selling her house and adding all of these other tools, a vision board, different things like that was fantastic. You know, you're able to experience that happening. And you're doing the miracle morning. All of the stuff that I'm talking about right now is falling under the affirmations, the A. So our voice, just take it under that topic there of affirmations. Our most important communication device, or our most powerful communication device. Have you ever lost your voice? Has anyone ever lost their voice? Just think about the time, if you have lost your voice, how you felt. I'm kind of reverting back to a time when I had laryngitis. And in fact, I'd get laryngitis quite often. And it was frustrating because I couldn't communicate. I had to, like, thankfully we have another way to like either text or write down, but my voice, which is an easy way to send my message, I couldn't have my voice in that moment. So it was a little frustrating to not have my communication, my most powerful communication voice online. So communication, let's break apart that word. Why is communication important? Just think about that. Thankfully, we have lots of different means of communication. Come and unify. Our communication device, our voice, actually unifies us or becomes one with whatever we're moving towards. So for me, I like to create a visual. It's almost like in my imagination, I create this moving picture of what I speak. When I speak it out, I see it in my mind and I just think, okay, is this something that I like to be moving towards? Or is it something that I don't want to be moving towards? Some examples are like, in fact, yesterday it was funny because we had gotten something from the NVD and I was like, oh, I'm going to trick my husband. Like, I just be like, oh, I got a ticket. I was stopped by a cop. And I never have been before. So it was kind of like a shocker. You know, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is coming in and I forgot to tell you. And then in that moment, I was like, is that something that I really desire to be moving towards? Like, I just spoke that I got a ticket and in my mind, I'm seeing me getting pulled over by this cop. And I'm like, oh, never mind, cancel erase. Let's actually not evoke or call forth to experience that experience in this moment. And so I just had that yesterday, and I don't do that very often because I like to picture the things that I'm speaking. And so I just, okay, never mind, cancel erase, and begin to speak what you do choose to move towards. Like having, I mean, for me, it might be like having a clean, like driving record, never getting a ticket. So, one of my most powerful experiences with understanding how my voice works was I was starting to do self-development and really got into it. This is probably 7 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. And I was on the phone with like some kind of a company, maybe just trying to get some information, trying to settle something. And prior to this phone call, I had just determined to just be a better person. You know, you're probably all on here today because you're all ready to up level. You're ready to go to that next, just experience something new, self-development. You know, we're always constantly moving towards our highest version of ourselves. And so I was on this phone call and I could hear my kids, they were playing downstairs. And I was like, oh, this is my self-development moment. I'm going to get off this phone call and just enjoy them. enjoy this moment that they're having and taking part, because I could hear the joy. I could feel the joy. So I got off the phone call and I like slowly crept downstairs because I wanted to surprise them, like mom's coming to play, you know. And I turned the corner, and right when I turned the corner, it looked like my downstairs was this winter wonderland. You guys, my kids had taken the inner stuffing out of all of my couches and had thrown it all over the place like it was snowing. And it wasn't funny at the time. I just have to say, because I was in that middle ground of this cognitive dissonance of becoming who I was choosing to, and like reverting back to like the overwhelm and the overstimulated mom, all of these types of things, I reverted back to just seeing the end of like, this is such a mess that I have to clean up. And that's where my mind went. So when we have to clean up a big mess, how do you feel? I'll share with you how I felt in that moment. I got angry. I got really angry, and I looked at my kids, and their faces were so full of joy. And I feel really sad about my response, but like the great thing is that I can recognize it and have a do-over. So their cute faces, you know, they were young, probably like 7, 10, 12, you know, that range. I had 4 kids and was homeschooling them all at the time. And so you can understand my overstimulation and overwhelm. If I just shared that many details, that's it. So I looked at them, and without even thinking, this was autopilot. What are you doing? And I can remember it was highly charged. I'm like, what are you doing? And their faces that were filled with joy, their eyes looked to the ground immediately as my words hit them, and their shoulders like slumped. So I saw that my words had a physical alteraction. That's not the right word. A physical change in their body. Like, that's how powerful my words were. It could cause them to change physically. I thought, wow, my words, as I speak them, can either have the ability to uplift and create, or they have the ability to tear down and destroy. And in that moment, I realized, like, it wasn't my intention to tear down and destroy and to destroy. It was just something that it was like a natural response to me having to take time and clean something else up. It was anger. And so that was like a huge experience for me to realize, wow, my voice is so very powerful. It's one of the most powerful communication devices I have. I can use my communication device to unify me and bring together towards something that I desire. And I can also use it to do the opposite, because we live in opposition, right? I can use it to actually break apart any kind of connection. And my desire was obviously to use it for good, to use it to uplift and benefit those around me. So in the comments, have you ever had an experience with your own voice and how powerful it was in a moment kind of like what I've shared? What has been your aha with your personalized voice, your tool that you call forth things, and how easily we're able to do that? And I'm not able to see the comments right now, but I trust that you are all you're all playing along here, because I like to go back and look. I want to see what experiences you've all had with your voice. What's a big aha that you have experienced? So building upon just understanding how powerful our voice is, I asked Tracy, when Tracy's heard me speak, I've been given like a 2-hour block period, and Tracy can attest. And then it turns into like a 3 or 4 hour block period, because that's just how cool our voices are. Like there's so much juicy stuff to share about how our voice works, but I'm just laying a basic foundation here for how our voice is so important. Just by dissecting the words vocare, and it literally means to call forth. So every time we're speaking, we're calling forth something, the law of vibration, whatever we're speaking, we're then moving to it. So see yourself connecting to whatever message you are sending out, and ask yourself, is this something that I desire to be connected to? And if not, use your voice to cancel it, like to just stop that connection from happening right there. So I have a really cool story about frequency, or just the energy that we hold inside of us and how our voice is used to express that. So whatever we have, whatever thoughts and beliefs that we have gathered and we've put into our space, we're actually going to be speaking from that, because it's already in us, our thoughts and our beliefs. And I came across this not too long ago, which it had an impact on me. So I thought I'd share it. And that is of value and personal value. When I asked Tracy, I'm like, what do you think your audience, like, what would you like them to gain from the time that I have here to speak with you? And she just says, like, to just realize how powerful their voice is. And as I personally tuned in to each one of you and asking, like, what is something that I can share that can be of value? It was basically that of taking ownership, using your voice to take back your power and your ownership, and realizing that nobody can take that away from you. They can create an experience for you, but you get to choose how you respond. And how we respond a lot is how we speak about it. It's how we talk about it. So we are able to actually control that and have that power. But this story is super cool. Think about your own value, your own personal value, and what number comes to mind. Don't make it wrong. Just like allow your heart to speak. What number comes to mind when you think of your own personal value? And give it a moment. And go ahead and write it down. If you're feeling brave, you can share it in the chat. There was a certain individual who was asked, like, what's your personal value? And their value, if they were to look at, like, well, I guess I don't go to work, or based on their situation, they didn't feel very valuable. They just were maybe a stay-at-home mom, where the value isn't just reciprocated as different as if you were to go to work, you see the paycheck, you see your value being exchanged. And so this particular person had a very low form of value, to where their value is like, well, maybe I'm worth $32 today. I'm like, okay, fair enough, not right or wrong. But here's the cool part. And Tracy kind of touched a little bit on, like, our atoms and, like, our ability to generate electricity and energy and having a charge. Well, we were able to actually measure the amount of an individual, that their electrical energy, and based on their hydrogen atoms. And the amount of electrical energy that's produced just by one person, and just take this into you, just receive this for you. Your body, the electrical energy that you can create and in your hydrogen ions is enough electrical energy to actually provide for a small industrialized country for a week. That much energy. And your electric energy is valued at $85 billion. So you are worth, mechanically, your mechanical worth is $85 billion. when you realize that your mechanical worth is worth $85 billion, I mean, for me, it starts to change certain messages and belief systems in me. So then when I speak and send a message, it's going to be a little bit different. I might feel a little bit different about myself, of like, whew, I'm pretty charged today. I'm feeling pretty good about myself. You know, like it's really neat to understand how valuable we are. If in a sense you can't find value in any other way, just know that your mechanical energy is already valued at $85 million without having to do anything else. You are very important and valued. And to begin to take ownership of what that looks like for you, your worth, and begin to speak words that, if you can imagine, you know, what you're speaking, speak images that you enjoy moving towards. I can't stress that enough. You know, it's just a little bit of baby foundation to go off of. But if I could give you anything, I'd love to just share how valuable you are and how much our voice is actually how we express that, and to begin to express what you do choose, what you desire to say yes to. So something cool I'd like to just put a plug in is these beautiful ladies here have a 6-week course that they're continuing in that's called Miracles by Design. And I love the word design, and even miracles. You know, miracles, it's just amazing because those show up daily when we are looking for them and writing them down, capturing them. But design, you guys, the word design, D is of and sign. So design means you're literally, you're putting on your own signature. It's your signature, the way that you choose to express it. And I'm going to kind of twist it in a way of your own voice, and how that's powerful is like when you think about somebody creating a piece of art, they're literally signing their name to the bottom of it, right? They're signing it and they're claiming it. They're saying it's theirs. Your voice is your signature. It has your signature frequencies in it. In fact, I have a cool software that's behind me. I take people's voice prints, and in the software, it will just give you a whole analysis of everything that's showing up in your voice, all the frequencies that's showing up in your voice, what's high, what's low, what's in balance. It's a pretty cool little system there. But whatever you're speaking is literally your signature. And so this Miracles by Design, it's super cool because you're already designing here and now, and you get to just learn more in a deep dive of how to do that in 6 weeks. And if I'm going to leave you with any last thing, because as I sign off and turn it back over to Tracy here, there are signatures all over the world, you know, like putting their imprint and mark on everything. And again, Tracy talked about this right before she turned it over to me about, you know, everything has a frequency, everything has an energy, and it can bless us or it can maybe poison us, you know, in different things. But our whole energy system, our universe, is constantly in movement. Think about the planets. Our planets are in a movement. And even though you cannot hear them right now, they're letting off a low energy sound. They're emitting a sound, and it's creating a vibration or a frequency. And we're picking up on it. Each one of us are little like receivers walking around this earth, and we're picking up on all these frequencies. And when it comes in based on our belief systems, we either reject it or accept it. You know, it's just this cool exchange of energy and messages. But I'd like to share this little piece with you because I think it's valuable, and I just love this kind of stuff. So NASA is able to actually record and know what energy is being picked up in the day or the weeks or the months to follow. So based on what energy is being emitted by the planets, just the planets. We're just going to talk about the planets, not everything else like the Wi-Fi and all of this stuff that's, you know, just coming in all the time. But the planets, which are put into motion by our higher powers, my belief, for benefiting us. This week, we've got our knees. The frequency that we're receiving is our knees, our hips, and lower back. So if anybody is experiencing things with knees, hips, and lower back, comment in there, because I'm going to give you an affirmation that will help to strengthen your knees, hips, and backs. And so those are active this week. I'll just make a mention to please stay super hydrated based on the frequencies that are coming in. And so hips, knees, and lower back. We'll start with lower back. I am fully supported. And you can even put in your higher power's name. I am fully God supported, or I am supported by my higher power. We're just going to strengthen these areas that are going to be active this week. And if you are already feeling kind of a weakness in your hips, knees, or lower back, notice what happens when you begin to use your words to move towards what you do choose. Having support, having strength. So I am fully supported. Knees are all about partnership and forgiveness. So first thing that comes up, is there somebody you require to forgive? If you're having a knee signal, if that's if the energies of our planet are starting to bring up and to just kind of make contact with some of the weak points, is there somebody you require to forgive, or is there somebody you require to partner with? And the way that we just re-speak it is I forgive, or I partner. And this is another really cool piece that goes along with it, is to reverse anything. Because there's a lot of things in our life that we might want to have another go at. Whether it's something we're experiencing pain, or a body signal, or like an actual event or experience, and we'd like to reverse it, look to the word reverse. Reverse literally means to reverse or to re-speak it. So in any way, if something's showing up that you're not liking, that you moved towards and you kind of partnered with, re-speak it, reverse it, begin to re-speak. So I forgive and I partner. And then last is hips. Hips all have to do with moving forward. And you guys, you're already taking part in this. So you are getting like so many nuggets of how to move forward. Like I move forward in my life. Just speak that. I move forward in my life. And just remember to stay hydrated. I know I already said that. I really love to share words that are strength returning and how to reverse things that are happening in your life. And I would invite you to join me in my group called Speak Rich. It's just a Facebook group. I have a lot of fun decrees in there that I share, but you are welcome if you'd like to learn more about your voice and how to use it to work for you. I have some really cool videos that you can search, if you're having like a sore throat, you just type in sore throat and it gives you the breakdown of what our throat is. It's all about expression and short little videos, Facebook Lives that I've done, and then a decree or an affirmation to reverse it, to re-speak it. So kind of fun there. I have loved my time with you, and I thank you all for letting me be here. And so Tracy, I'm going to turn it back to you. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Right now, I don't know about you guys, but I am full. I am filled. Every time I hear Kristen speak, I am literally filled with a feeling of joy and excitement. So excited to implement the things that she teaches us. So if you got value out of what Kristen just shared with us, please put a 10 in the chat and show her some love. Let's see some hearts going up. I'm going to put some hearts in there because I appreciate her so much. And ladies, she said that you can connect with her on Speak Rich. And I'm thinking that as you go there, if you would like to connect
Tracy's going to hop right back on.
Thanks for hanging in there with us, guys. Ladies, we can't go a day without a little bit of technological. No, I shouldn't speak that, right? So while we're waiting for Tracy, I just want to remind everyone, and I'll put this in the chat, to sign up for your clarity call. I'll put the link right in there. We're excited to meet with you, connect with you, and help you figure out what where you want to go from here, because there are so many we want to keep you along this path and keep you up leveling and show you some ways that we have found that help.
And I'll just share one more thing about that. So we're so excited. We've kind of got some different options to offer you. And one of those options might be that you know, you're great right where you are and that you've benefited from some of the things we've talked about this week. We want to know that as well. But we do have about 3 other options for you to help you continue on this journey. I know so many of you have reached out, and I thank you for that. With the little pieces that we've sprinkled on you over these last 4 days. Thank you so much, Kristen, for all that you shared with us, everyone. So Kristen, how do we just search for your Facebook group and then ask to join? Is that how that works?
Yes. Yep. It's just Speak Rich, and Rich is actually an acronym for Remembering I Create Happiness. So it's all like about, I love, you know, happy mom, happy life. Like, it's perfect.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for all that you shared with us today, and for, I think, the nuggets that we will receive as we join that Facebook group. So thank you so, so much. So please sign up for that clarity coaching call. We're going to provide value for you during that call, and we're just excited to connect and get to know you. So thanks again. Sorry for a couple of technology glitches. You know, we do know that there's opposition when we are trying to do good. And so can't even tell you some of the behind the scenes that we've had, but we have just loved sharing with you and coming together every day. And so again, we look forward to connecting with you. Have a great rest of your day, and Merry Christmas, everyone.
And real quick before you all leave, the word of the day. Thank you. I'm trying to check with Tracy. I'm pretty sure it is 2023. So we're gonna go with that. Word of the day, 2023. So I'll send out an email here in a little bit, reply, and we're gonna get you guys all set up with prizes, and we're excited to meet you on your clarity calls. So, Merry Christmas. Good luck, everyone, with the holidays, and enjoy. And we hope this has brought you a little bit of extra peace and calm and tools to deal with the stress that comes with the holidays. So we'll be seeing you later.